it seems like more and more likely George Clooney is coming back as Batman. Every scooper's talking about this. I made this video like a couple days ago where Grace Randolph put out a scoop saying that we're gonna get a previous Batman as the current DC Universe Batman. Of course, everyone knows James Gunn has came in and he is going to do a soft reboot, and one of those reboots is Batman. Now, Grace Randolph scoop said that there would be a new Batman, and she listed out three contenders. She listed out Val Kilmer, uh, uh, Christian Bale, and George Clooney. Um, but now you're seeing more and more scoopers bring to light Batman. And this post came from My Time to Shine Hello, which, by the way, she's not very reliable either. I'll say this right now. Never go on all in with scoopers. My Time to Shine Hello has been right before, but I've always said this, and I'll always stand by this. Scoopers are not reliable. All right, even the most reliable ones, even they aren't reliable. I've always said be very cautious with them because you never know whether or not they're actually telling you the truth or whether or not things change. And so that's why I tell people, hey, just be careful. Support your scoopers. I follow My Time to Shine Hello right here. But I'll always just say this, be straight up. Just don't dive in first thinking it's going to happen. But she posted this. Not only that, but everyone was talking to me about Bill Raimi, who I honestly don't know Bill Raimi all that much. But home of DC Universe. The first time I ever talked to this person was they DM'd me something, and I'm not going to talk about it, but I remember the first time I ever heard of home of DC Universe, they DM'd me. I was like, all right, I'll follow you. And then they never followed me back, so that fucking sucks. But it says here, Bill Raimi says that the DC Universe Batman will be much older Batman and teases that'll be a past Batman. And of course, when you look at it, there's been a lot of Batmans. We've had George Clooney, Val Kilmer, Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck. Although, could you really say Ben Affleck's all that much older? He is about to come. But they're all saying George Clooney. Everyone's saying George Clooney. And the thing is, it's something that's never even come to my mind. Because when you think about the return of Michael Keaton, that one makes sense. He's a very popular Batman. He was a Batman that a lot of generations loved and grew up with. I personally am not the biggest fan of Michael Keaton's Batman. I think he's mid as Batman. I like Michael Keaton as an actor. He's a phenomenal actor. But as Batman, he's always kind of struck me as, all right. Like, sorry. He doesn't even look like Bruce Wayne. But I'll say Batman 89 was a solid movie. But yeah, Michael Keaton's like a popular Batman, and I'm surprised that they decided not to go with him. Even Christian Bale. Christian Bale is a far more popular Batman. The Dark Knight, till this day, is still regarded as one of, if not the greatest comic book movie of all time. To a lot of people, that's their favorite movie. The Dark Knight's, till this day, is still talked about every time. It's still in the pop culture zeitgeist, right? And it's the movie released in 2008. But George Clooney, his Batman and Robin is regarded as the thing that ended Batman's reputation for a decade. And that's objectively. That's not even opinion-wise. Ever since Batman and Robin came out, for a long time, they wouldn't even touch Batman in the movie sphere. Because Batman was so overdone and so damaged to the point of no return. And George Clooney's Batman and Robin was so god-awful that it not just was a bad movie, but it damaged Batman as a whole for a while. And so I find it surprising to bring him back. Now, I'm going to go right now with the assumption that he does. I don't think he will. I'm going to say this straight up. Even though these scoopers are saying this, I'm still going to be with a very cautious mindset. But I'll say this right now. If this is correct, if we get tomorrow that James Gunn is bringing George Clooney into the DC universe, I'll say this. George Clooney is a great actor. I think no one can deny that. I think he's a great guy. I think he is younger than Michael Keaton. I'm fine with having an older Batman since apparently we are going to get a Bat family as a whole. So I think that's fine. The only thing is you do come in with that baggage of how horrible Batman and Robin is, which no fault to George Clooney at all. The fault goes with the writers. The fault goes with the staff. Because at the end of the day, this guy still looks like he could be a Bruce Wayne type, right? Even back then, he looked like a Bruce Wayne type. Right? And to me, there's George Clooney, his acting really didn't ruin the movie. It was just the movie as a whole ruined itself, right? And I think you can bring back Clooney with better writers, a better filmmaker, and vastly improve. And we do live in a time where there's redemptions for characters. I mean, Jamie Foxx came back in No Way Home after everyone hated him in Amazing Spider-Man 2. And guess what? He came back as Electro and he was amazing. Jared Leto's Joker, maybe not the same, but he came back for the Snyder Cut. A lot of people really loved that scene. And well, actually, maybe that's not a good example, but hey, we still have the Jamie Foxx example. You know, there's times where a character comes back to a role and they vastly improve from the previous time. And I think Clooney can be one of them. The only issue is that it's funny because we're hearing the Clooney thing, and you're not hearing people being hyped. You're hearing people be confused. When Michael Keaton was announced to come back for The Flash, it was excitement. Everyone was ready for it because everyone loves Keaton. When Affleck was returned to come back for The Flash, there was excitement. Everyone wanted to see that. But with Clooney, you go to these messages and all you see is confusion. Like, all you see is confusion. That's not a good start. And I don't think James Gunn wants that baggage. There's a reason why Gunn is doing a soft reboot, because he doesn't want the baggage of the previous DCU. So I just don't see him going further even back to the baggage. It's kind of like it's like having like one what was it, baggage? Is that what it's called? Okay. In the airport. And then you just start taking everyone else's. It's like now you're just carrying way too much, and now it just hurts your arms. It's like that's what it feels like when you have Clooney, right? With Clooney, it just kind of feels like you're adding issues that don't need to be there. DC as a whole already has issues. Why do you need to add more? And that's kind of how I see it. I would like a redemption. I still think Clooney looks like a Bruce Wayne type, right? But it's just an odd choice because even Clooney has come out and said that he thinks that is the worst decision of his career was to play Batman, was to do the movie. He considers Batman and Robin to be the worst thing he's ever done. Like, imagine starting off the foot with that Batman, right? Now, there's a couple benefits. Number one, he is a recognizable actor. That's a pretty solid start. But besides that, I don't see much of a point. His Batman and Robin is vastly hated. Again, I already went through it all. But it's all the truth. And so it's just kind of like, why? I mean, Clooney, don't get me wrong, no disrespect to Clooney, but like, why? Why? And I'm telling you, if they do announce it, I'll still be like, hey, you know what? I'm excited. And then you're going to have to go with the damage of maybe having to canonize his movie, Batman and Robin. Do you really want to canonize that Batman and Robin film? Like, really? Because at least with No Way Home, with Electro, yes, Amazing Spider-Man 2 exists. But with Multiverse, you were able to change some things. Like, you just got Jamie Foxx's normal hair. You fixed his teeth. He has now yellow lightning. It was kind of like changing the scope of the story helped, in a way, Jamie Foxx's Electro to get redemption. While with Clooney, is it going to be a straight up sequel? The Brave and the Bold is going to be a straight up sequel? Because you're going to have to, in a way, use that and be like, hey guys, we had this previous movie, now let's go into this movie. And to me, it just, I don't even know any logistical reason why even get Clooney back. Right? It's like getting with an ex who abused you. It's like, oh, okay, that was too far. But you get the point I'm trying to say. It's like getting with an ex who maybe you just weren't happy. That's a better way to sum it. Not abuse, but an ex who you weren't happy with, and you just get back with them. It's almost like, what's the point? There's no benefit to it. Sure, she's attractive, but like everything else, it's almost like, why? Right? But my good friend RJ does put out this tweet saying pretty much every single insider, scooper, pooper scooper is saying they've heard Clooney is the new DC Universe Bruce Wayne, Batman, and had it confirmed to them. Either this means there's actual credence to this, or the source of / DC Studios has shown them. Everyone's about to be exposed. I will say this though, seeing how many scoopers actually say that this is true, seeing how many of them are saying it's true, I will say I do believe this is coming from the studio. I think in some sense they did get actual information that George Clooney is going to be Batman. I do think to an extent. Either the scoopers are trolling, which I doubt it, because scoopers have a reputation to keep hold. That's why a lot of them will shut down any criticism. Grace Randolph has many people blocked for a reason, because all scoopers are pussies. Hear me out, right? All scoopers, every single one of it. If you're a scooper, if you feel offended by what I'm saying, good. I hope you do feel offended. But this honestly is true, because I do have a feeling that maybe it could be a fake report. And this has happened. It could be a fake report that was made not by scoopers, but by DC themselves, the DC studios, to kind of whisk away actual stuff from coming. Like they make fake information so that there's a blockade right there, so that way they can keep doing what they're doing. I think that's a possibility. I don't know many examples, but I do remember when Avengers Endgame, before it came out, there was a long time period where we didn't even know the title of the movie. And for a long time period, people assumed that the movie was called Avengers Annihilation. Maybe it's a similar scenario where DC just doesn't want stuff revealed, so they're just going to drop this right here, pretend, just let the scoopers play with this. Or I think there's another way that you could say it's possible, but you could say it's a way to whisk out how these scoopers get their information. Because James Gunn seems to be very adamant against scoopers. The way he went against Geekosity magazine, the most unreliable pieces of shit out there. The way that he has criticized Grace Randolph. It's like he has more of a vendetta on scoopers. And I guess what he's trying to do, now this is only a theory. Let's say this crappy little iPhone, right? This little iPhone 5. Yeah, it's a 5. But let's say this little iPhone is the George Clooney rumor. Let's say I'm James Gunn. This is a rumor. Now, my assumption is he's going to tell people the information, right? Let's say a staff member, someone in his writing team, he tells these people the information. All right, this is the information. This is George Clooney as Batman. What he could be doing is seeing the bait, seeing all the people he's given it to. And now, when he sees the scoop go public, this scoop right here, now what he's able to do is rail back in that scoop that he made up and see and pinpoint who are the people that are giving away this information. If he gave this information to one of his staff members, boom, that guy is going to leak stuff. Or that guy says something to somebody that then gives it to the scoopers, then the stuff makes it public. So there's a chance that could also be what's happening. He's just using this as a way to bait to see who is giving the scoops, right? Now, again, this is just a big theory. It's just, to me, the idea of Clooney as Batman coming back, especially after Batman and Robin, that just, to me, doesn't seem possible. It just doesn't. Every logistical way I can think of, I don't see how. Why? Why not get a new actor? Why not get Bale back? Even Keaton. Keaton's a popular Batman. Every possible possibility in my mind within the multiverse. Just, to me, I can't see any of this happening on every possibility. Like, somebody in the comments tell me why. Even in a financial aspect, really all you get is George Clooney is a known actor. Who cares? There's a lot of known actors out there. Jake Gyllenhaal. There's multiple actors out there that are known. So why would you specifically go with the Batman who already has a poor reputation? Because it's kind of like George Clooney's popularity is like right here. Batman and Robin being horrible is like up here. So it's kind of like even that benefit you have is really not a benefit because all the disadvantages kind of like pile up against that one advantage. So it's like everything you think of just doesn't make sense, right? It's like making a meal that you know you don't like. Like, let's say you don't like rice and you make rice, orange rice. Let's say you don't like orange rice and you make it just for yourself. Let's say you cook rice. It's like, what's the point? You're making yourself something you don't like. It's like, I mean, the one benefit is that you do get to eat. You're not hungry. But like all the disadvantages pile against it. So I just don't see it. But this is something interesting that I just didn't even think of until I saw RJ tweet something like this. It could be fake information. And honestly, I'd probably do this. If I'm a filmmaker, if I'm somebody who wants to keep secrets, I would try to find a way to know who are the people that are going to be leaking my information, right? For example, one thing I keep private on YouTube is my last name. Let's say I give let's say these are two of my subscribers. Let's say these are two of my subscribers that I like, that I'm close with, and I tell them each my last name, right? I tell them each my last name. Now, let's say eventually I go on Twitter and I see people saying my last name. I see more and more that more people start finding out my name, right? Now I can pinpoint who were the two people I gave this information to. Huh? We got Superman here and Batman. Oh, yeah. Oh, crap. That's perfect. We got Superman and Batman right here. Now, when all that information gets out, I can now know, okay, these two people aren't meant to be trusted. Therefore, they are not in my inner circle and will not be getting any information from me. Now, either way, I still think that it's going to be nearly impossible to avoid scoops and leaks, because the reality is we live in a time where information can easily be leaked and received. I mean, how many times on the internet does somebody get into an argument and their address gets leaked, right? So it's kind of like, I don't know, because I do think we're still going to get stuff that is going to happen in Gunn's universe. I just think that what Gunn wants to do is minimize that, right? Minimize as much as he can, so that way he doesn't have to fear scoops as much. That's a possibility. Not saying that is the truth, but that's a possibility. But I will say this right now. Come back to this video. Let's say in a year or two this gets debunked. Let me know in the comments. All of you that are watching this 2 years later, let me know. And I do want to say this. I want to hold all these scoopers accountable. I want to hold them all accountable, because I'm so fed up with how people put them on pedestals and worship them. Because at the end of the day, all their job is just to spoil stuff for you. Yeah, I do think we need scoopers, but not in movie talk. In politics or anything else like that, we do need scoopers. But in movie talk, scoopers are essentially pointless. They're useless. Their job is just to spoil. Imagine if I went up to you, right? Imagine if I went up to you and told you spoilers for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, right? You'd be mad. But these people do it for a living. They just do it way before in advance, before you even think about even watching the movie, right? That's just how I see it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Y'all let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think this theory is too absurd? Do you think Clooney is coming back? Whatever it is, let us know in the comment section down below. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Ciao.
Where do you go to? Where do you go? Where do you go to? I wanna know. How do you do it? That thing you do. Follow you blindly, I'll be your fool. Cinderella, yeah. I think I'll find your glass slipper, baby.